And the river still shines and shimmers in the light as it did in our grandfather's day, when they rode all night to fish in the morning and lived in Willapa Bay.
Hello, everybody. So nice to be back in Astoria. I think we should just get rolling, and so I'm going to introduce our first performer. We've got Jefferson Holland, and he's come from a ways away. He's from Annapolis, Maryland on the Chesapeake, and he's going to do some great music for us. Jefferson.
What a thrill to be here. I'm just very excited. So I'm from Annapolis, Maryland. I'm a former river keeper for the Weston Road Rivers just south of Annapolis. I'm a former assistant harbor master for the city of Annapolis. I launched the Annapolis Maritime Museum, so all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm actually from the little neighborhood across the harbor from Annapolis proper. It's called Eastport. And it's a little peculiar. It's where all the watermen live. Watermen's what we call fishermen back there in the Chesapeake Bay. So this little waterman's village is where black women, black and white families live side by side, working out on the water. And it's kind of the funky over across the tracks kind of place. And them Eastport boys got this odd tradition when the sun swings to its equinoxial position. They build a little fire down along the docks. They doff their shoes and they burn their winter socks. Yes, they burn their socks at the equinox. You might think that's peculiar, but I think it's not. See, they're the same socks they put on last fall, and they never took them off to wash them, not at all. So they burn their socks at the equinox in a little old fire burning nice and hot. Some think incineration is the only solution, because washing them contributes to the Chesapeake's pollution. So through the spring and the summer and into the fall, they go around not wearing any socks at all, just stinky bare feet stuck in old deck shoes, whether out on the water or enjoying a brew. So if you sail into the harbor on the 21st of March and you smell the snow like Limburger mixed in with the laundry starch, you know you're downwind of the Eastport docks where they're burning their socks for the equinox. Another fun job I had was a PR guy for the famous Annapolis boat shows. And this is something that's been going on for 50 years, and the whole harbor gets taken over by floating docks and boats from all over the world, and people come from all over the world. And the opening day of the show is always VIP day. And one year we had an actual VIP show up. It was Martha Stewart. She came in with her entourage and swept down to the Hinckley dock and saw this beautiful 50-foot-long picnic boat, jet tri, mahogany everywhere, antique. And the dealer showed her around the boat, and they sat down in the cockpit and said, okay, I'll take it. She had one of her entourage write a check, and she signed it and handed it over to the clerk and said, okay, I'll have my man come over on Monday after the show and pick it up. And the fellow said, oh, no, ma'am, you don't understand. These boats are built to order. And I have 8 other customers build their boats before I get around to building yours. Well, how long will that take? Well, I could probably deliver it sometime in September. I said, young man, do you know who I am? I said, yes, ma'am. You're number 9. Well, outside of the Annapolis Maritime Museum is an old oyster shucking house called the McNasby Oyster Company building. And that's where everybody in the summertime goes chicken necking. You do that around here? Chicken necking? It's where you tie a chicken neck around a string and you lower it down over the dock and you wait patiently for a crab, and this is a blue crab in the Chesapeake Bay. Come along and snack onto it, and you lift it up and scoop it up with a long pole net and dump it in a bucket. And that's chicken necking. And on Back Creek is where the McNasby building lives. And that's where this song is located. Curiously, it's called Back Creek Crab. I'm gonna get my bucket and a chicken neck, an old piece of string and a long pole net. I'm going down to Back Creek, I'm gonna get me some crabs. I'm going down to Back Creek, sit in a pier, dangle my line while I sip on a beer. Going down to Back Creek, I'm gonna Back Creek crab. Get me some big fat males, let the little ones go. If they scuttle from the bucket, they can bite you on the toe. Hard crabs, soft crabs, even the shedders, take 'em home and eat 'em, the sooner the better. I don't need a knife and I don't need a mather, just a Back Creek crab to satisfy my palate. Going down to Back Creek, I'm gonna Back Creek crab. Ba-da-dee. Join in. You know the words. Good job. Give me some Back Creek crab, put 'em on a simmer. I can eat about 1,100 dozen for dinner. Give me Back Creek crab and a little Old Bay over Chateaubriand any old day. I don't need a knife and I don't need a mallet, just a Back Creek crab to satisfy my palate. Going down to Back Creek, I'm going to Back Creek crab. Whoa, 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 whoa. Going down to Back Creek, I'm gonna Back Creek crab. Thank you. One time I was performing and Jimmy Dean showed up in the audience. I was like, oh, Jimmy Dean. It's amazing. He was there on his yacht there in the harbor. And I always admired his Big John song. And I thought, I'd love to do a Big John song, but the only real Big John kind of hero we had was a guy named Muskrat Green from a little town south of Annapolis called Deal. And Deal, first you have to go from Annapolis to Edgewater to London town to Deal. Oh, no, Shady Side and is in between. So he was famous for chugging raw shucked oysters. Put them in a big quart bell jar and just go, go, go. And he entered all of the oyster eating contests and won every single one of them. So there was this legendary man from the town of Deal with a heart of gold, with guts of steel. To eat a lot of oysters was his only dream. They called him Muskrat, Muskrat Green. As a little bitty baby weighed just 2 pounds, but he grew to be the biggest water man around. At 5'6", he weighed 235 with a belly twice as big as any man his size. He was a hard-eating, hard-driving water man, but his appetite for oysters got a mite out of hand. At an oyster-eating contest, nobody could beat him. They said, they can't shuck 'em fast as I can eat 'em. He won every eating contest on the whole East Coast. He could chug a quart of raw ones like a cocktail toast. After eating 300 in a minute, 5 seconds, he said, well, it's time for lunch, I reckon. He was the greatest oyster eater that the world has ever seen. He was Muskrat, Muskrat Green. They sent him off to London town, the one near Wales. And this time what he had to eat was snails. Tastes like rubbers, all he had to say, but he ate a record number of them anyway. He beat the best eater that the Brits could show, downing 2.3 pounds of escargot. He did it in 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and that got him in the Guinness Book of World Records. And back in Deal, they say Muskrat put that tiny tidewater town on the map. They made him honorary mayor of the town and stuck him in a limo and drove him all around. And now he's up in heaven with all them harp pluckers, searching for the former world's fastest oyster shucker. He was the greatest oyster eater that the world has ever seen. He was muskrat. Muskrat Creek. Now, as a river keeper, you're very aware of how various elements of your environment are going. And in the Chesapeake Bay, one of the biggest issues we have is the submerged aquatic vegetation. And some places it's growing, some places it's shrinking, but it's always crucial to the health of the environment. That's where all the baby crabs and shrimp, fish hide away from the predators, oxygenates the water, cleans the water, does great things, but we've had to work to restore it in many places around the bay. But when I heard that phrase, subaquatic vegetation, submerged aquatic vegetation, I thought that's wrong as a poet. It just doesn't ring. If it's submerged, it's aquatic. But if you say subaquatic vegetation, there's music there. And what kind of music would it be but a tango? Ha, ha, ha. Let me see if I can get it right. The baby boomer generation has fostered overpopulation, waterfront property inflation, development deforestation. Deforestation leads to soil erosion that wreaks environmental devastation. Subaquatic vegetation. It's also known as SAV. And of course, you know this is a sing-along. So let's divide this ship's company into two crews. The starboard watch over on this side, sing with me, S-A-V, like this. S-A-V, S-A-V. Everybody, S-A-V, S-A-V. Keep that up now. S-A-V, subaquatic vegetation. S-A-V, subaquatic vegetation. S-A-V, subaquatic vegetation. S-A, all together now with feeling. S-A-V, 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 S-A-V. You comprehend the complications. Erosion brings about siltation, which covers up the vegetation, creating sunlight deprivation, muddies the water till the plants must desist their photosynthesis, yet it's a cause for consternation. Subaquatic vegetation, everybody now, S-A-V, 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 S-A-V. You comprehend the complications. Erosion brings about siltation, which covers up the vegetation, creating sunlight deprivation. Muddies the water till the plants must desist their photosynthesis, yet it's a cause for consternation. For subaquatic vegetation, everybody now, S-A-V, 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 S-A-V. Now listen for your information. It's not a hopeless situation. We must act without hesitation, enforcing soil conservation. Instead of tearing down our trees, we must needs plant some seeds. The subaquatic vegetation can be saved by reforestation. S-A-V, 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 S-A-V. It's not a tricky operation, engaging in reforestation. Just make a little excavation and stick a sprout of vegetation in. Thank you. Planting a little tree can be the solution to runoff pollution. It can be the one salvation for subaquatic vegetation. Everybody now, S-A-V, S-A-V, S-A-V. S-A, one more time with feeling. S-A-V, 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 S. Let's hear an ovation for subaquatic vegetation. Hey! Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us today. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
My name is Ken Kastner, and I'm from Homer, Alaska.
Whoa, Homer, did you come all the way from Homer for this event?
I did.
I'm speechless. So let me think real quick here. Please tell me your story and what motivated you to come down here and what you're doing in the Fisher Poets Gathering.
Well, my sweetie of 51 years is one of the presenters here, and this is her fourth Fisher Poets. So normally I would not be attending, but this year I said, okay, I'm coming. And so I had meetings in Juneau, and we came from Juneau to here, and I'm flying back tomorrow. But it's been fun so far.
Well, what was your favorite? Okay, you do have a favorite, so unbiased. What was your other favorite thing so far?
Well, I was at the Liberty Theater all last night, and there were some really wonderful things, and I don't even remember the cowboy Fisher poet. He came out with a costume that was split in half. He had a hip boot on one leg and a cowboy boot on the other leg, and he had made a garment that was a half a fishing jacket and half a cowboy vest, and he called himself a transfishmite. So. No, he's quite funny and a great poet. And he's known for cowboy poetry, but he's been coming here for years and years, and he's just part of the crowd now. So that was fun.
What else can we tell folks that will entice them to come and maybe give them any tips of good ways to enjoy themselves?
Well, it's an event that incites some creativity in everybody. So I've written a couple of poems. One of them got read last night, and then I'm going to compete tonight in the competition, the 30-second competition, where you have to include the word full moon, and it has to be 30 seconds, and you have to have 5 Bodhi prepositions. So anyway, I've got that composed, but I'm in the first line and the last line has to be the same except different.
Well, we think we're going to try and be there tonight to witness that, so we'll look forward to seeing you again, and thanks for stopping to talk with us.
Sure. What's this for?
Oh, did I not start with that? So we're working on a Fisher Poets Gathering archive, and it's headlined, it's our buddy's pet project, and he gets the equipment, and we come out and we record a lot of the performances, as many as we can get to. Yeah. We set up in 2 or 3 venues. We record the performances, and then we do these little on-street interviews, and then he does a whole bunch of editing and tries to upload them and get them all uploaded to Facebook.
Where were you last night?
We were at Astoria Brewing Company. He was live streaming at Liberty. Yeah.
That was great. Okay. Well, good. Good luck with your project.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for stopping and helping us out.
Sure.
Appreciate it.